So again, in lesson 1 in module 7, we're focusing on the Pythagorean theorem and then what to do when we get that answer, that c squared or b squared a squared answer. Okay, so this one says use the Pythagorean theorem to find a whole number estimate, and that's actually what we were doing in the last video. Okay, length unknown side, right triangle. I see unknown side, right triangle. I'm thinking Pythagorean theorem. Okay, and I'm not really going to explain why my estimate makes sense, but we're going to kind of talk through it. Okay. So, like we've been doing, identify the three parts of your triangle here, the three sides. That all comes from the right angle, okay? The two sides that make up the right angle are called the legs, okay? So we can see right here that I'm missing one of the legs. The way I usually identify it, though, is I take my right angle and I draw it to the other side. The right angle is the largest angle in the triangle, so the side across from it will be the longest side, which is the hypotenuse, which is our c. Okay, so I know c squared here is going to be 11 squared. Okay, just because I keep telling you you can switch it around, I am going to switch it around. I'm going to say that b is 6, and then we're missing a. Okay, could you said we were missing b instead of a? Yes, again, the commutative property says that we can change around this plus, or we can change the order that we add. Okay, so we have a squared plus 6 times 6. 6 to the second power, 6 squared means 6 times 6, 2 sixes. 6 times 6 is 36, equals 11 squared, or 11 times 11, which I believe is 121. Okay. And for this, guys, again, I'm using my calculator. If you have any issues with calculator work, just come see me, okay? The good news, we know how to solve an equation. So if I'm solving for a squared, I need to get rid of the 36. It's plus 36, so I minus 36. Or we can think of it as positive 36. We combine it with the negative 36, okay? I double check here to make sure those cancel, and I'm left with a squared equals 121 minus 36 is 85, okay? So what we're looking for is what number times itself equals 85. And I was doing this in the examples I did in the previous video, but this is what it means here. We want to find a whole number estimate. Okay, so when I think about it, 8 times 8 equals 64. 9 times 9 equals 81. 10 times 10 equals 100. Okay, now these right here are called perfect squares. Okay, and the reason they're called perfect squares is if you take the square root, which we've talked about in class, you get an integer answer, right? What is the square root of 64? How do you undo? What number times itself equals 64? 8. What number times itself equals 81? 9. What number times itself equals 100? 10. Okay, that's why they're kind of special. So when I look here at 85, 85 is going to fall right in here, right? 85 falls between the 81 and the 100. Which one is it closer to? Well, it's closer to 81. So it's closer to 9. So we can say that A is approximately equal, whole number estimate, to 9 centimeters. Now, if we did the, square root thing here, right? And we did the square root of 85, you can see it's 9.2. Okay? All right, so that's what we're working on this lesson, okay? This square, figuring out which number times itself, that's what we're going to kind of continue through Module 7, at least topic A, okay? Use Pythagorean theorem to find a whole number estimate, length of an unknown, right triangle. See kind of a repeat here? Pythagorean theorem. Again, we're not going to explain, we'll talk through it. Identify. I look at my right angle, I look at the side across from it. That's always where I start. Okay, please don't assume everything's A and B, okay? This time it is. So I have, I'm going to replace a squared. A was 6, so 6 squared plus 10 squared is equal to c squared. 6 times 6 is 36. 10 times 10 is 100 equals c squared. That's 136 equals c squared. And again, we're saying what number times itself equals 36, 136. A lot of times people will divide it by 2. No. Okay, look for your perfect square numbers. Now, if we look up here, okay, we had 10 times 10 equals 100. 11 times 11 equals 121. 12 times 12 equals 144. So we can see this 136 here is going to fall between 11 and 12. Okay, so then you just say, well, is it closer to 121 or 144? I believe it's closer to 144, so we'd say that our hypotenuse is approximately equal to 12. Okay, and so that's really what we're doing right now. Okay, we're just double checking to make sure I'm right, and I am right. We're just looking for the whole number, okay, the whole number estimate. Okay, and we'll talk later about, I mean, technically, a negative 10 times a negative 10 also equals 100, and a negative 11 times a negative 11 equals 121. But we're talking about side lengths of a triangle. Negatives don't make sense, okay? So we're just looking for what the whole number that's closest to, understanding what this c squared means. Okay, one more example. Use the Pythagorean Theorem, same directions, to find a whole number estimate, length of an unknown side of a right triangle, okay? Here's my right angle. Okay, first of all, sorry, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, here's my right angle. Across from it, 11. I know that c is 11. So I'm going to say 9 is a. You could say 9 is b. But I'm going to say 9 squared plus b squared is equal to 11 squared. And then I'm just going to calculate it going down. 9 times 9 is 81 plus b squared is equal to 11 times 11 is 121. Solving for b squared, I got to get rid of the 81. So I'm going to subtract 81 from both sides. I sound like a broken record, I know, but that just means the more you do it, the easier it gets, okay? It starts becoming automatic. B squared equals 121 minus 81, excuse me, which is 40. All right. What number times itself? What number times itself equals 40? Well, 6 times 6 I know is 36. 7 times 7 is equal to 49. Which one is 40 closer to? Because it's going to fall right in between there, right? Between 6 and 7? It's actually closer to the 36, isn't it? So we'd say B is approximately equal to 6. And let's see our millimeters. I can do better. I'm pretty sloppy, but I can do better than that. 6 millimeters. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, big focus here in this lesson, Pythagorean Theorem. Missing side length of a right triangle. But the secondary focus is really understanding what this b squared means or this c squared means, okay? How do we undo squaring something, okay? And it's really understanding that it means the number times itself. And that's what we're going to be working on in this topic.